Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is the Brew. We're live, so get involved in the comments and the chat and make sure you're hitting that like button. Joining me today is Mr. Dave Pritt. How are we doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Much better than last week. But
last week? What happened last week?
I was on the watch along, but was a bit hungover. So.
Oh, was you?
Yeah,
a bit delicate?
A bit delicate. Fresh as a daisy today.
Yeah, no, you've not even had that many beers today, have you? You've only about 8. So you're doing well. Also, as well, finally back on the channel is Lauren Page. How are we doing, Lauren?
I'm good. I'm all right. Thanks for having me back. Finally.
No, well, we've been trying to get you back on for a little while, but we've been our sort of calendars haven't matched up. But you're back on today, so it's good to get both of you on here and talk about the transfer window. I think, unless I'm gravely mistaken, United have done all our incomings. I think we've done our signings. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the players we've signed. We're going to sort of give ourselves a little bit of a rating, whether you rate this transfer window, what you think of the players we've signed, if there are, any flaws in it, what's been good and what's been bad about it. Also, as well, we've still got to see if anyone else ends up leaving, because there's still a few players. I think the likes of Donny van der Beek and, unless I'm mistaken, Eric Bailly, I think, might be on the books still, which is a bit of a surprise, and everyone thought he'd be going. So make sure you're getting involved in the comments and the chat. Now, our social media guru, Alexi, just informs me that the club have just done an announcement. Is it from the official? Was it an official one? Oh, there you go. Oh, no, there you go. I can see that. Sorry, I forget how this works. Sergio Reguilon has signed up for the 23-24 season. The club have announced that 4 minutes ago. That's a done deal. He's coming in from Spurs until June 2024. I presume he's got a break clause in his contract that we can give him back in January. Can we get that confirmed? Can we find out?
This is a 1 year deal. I
don't know though, because it's so I don't know. We'll try and work that out. And if you know, please get involved in the comments in the chat. I've spoke about this deal this morning on the Paper Talk, and we spoke to Dan Seth about it as well. And I said that whilst it's not the most exciting aspect of United's transfer window, bringing in someone who's probably third choice if everyone's fit, this is the one that makes sense, or one of the ones that makes sense, because whilst you wouldn't go for Sergio Reguilon if Luke Shaw was available, even if Tyrone Malacia was available, you might not bother. You need a left back to come in, an option, a quick option. There wasn't that many available. There was Cucurella, was spoke about, Alonso, which I didn't want for a multitude of reasons. Reguilon is obviously the one that's ended up coming. What do you make of it, Lauren? Do you sympathise with Ten Hag, or do you think we could have got a little bit better?
No, I think I get it. At the point of this transfer window now, I think he's the best we could probably get. Cucurella was a big fat no from me. Same with Alonso.
Yeah.
So I think it's our safest option, really. We need someone right now because we've got no one. So I think it's a pretty good signing, to be fair.
Yeah. Dave, what do you think? Because, like Lauren was saying there, the options, they're all flawed. Cucurella would have an absolute stinker at Chelsea. Marcus Alonso is one of the most detestable human beings playing football. And also, I don't think he's that good. Reguilon, you could argue he's been a bit bang average, but they were all slightly flawed, hence the reason they were available. Where do you stand on it?
Well, the fact you said he's like third choice, I think if he's happy to be on the bench a bit and know that he's not going to be starting every game because we've got other players when they're fit, that's kind of good. I'd probably rather seen Brandon Williams stay there, but he's not going to want to sit on the bench. He wants, even if it's where he was going to Ipswich, hasn't he?
Yeah.
With Kane McKenna.
Yeah. Well, he went, Brandon Williams went, and like an hour later they announced Luke Shaw was injured. Yeah. It was like, part of me was thinking, can you not just recall Brandon Williams? But I'm guessing Eric Ten Hag, I think he could have done that. I'm guessing Eric Ten Hag doesn't really fancy him.
Yeah, and I think he wanted regular football, and I think under McKenna he'll probably get it there, won't he? Yeah. Because when McKenna first came in, Angel was captain, but when he went up to the 21s, he made Brandon captain straight away.
So McKenna, just for people that don't know, McKenna was managing the under-18s and worked with Brandon Williams.
Yeah, he had him as captain quite a lot, and he always had him as a leader there. So it's not that surprising that he's gone there. But yeah, I know he wanted first team football playing week in, week out, and he wasn't going to get that at United, unfortunately. I know he had his spell a couple of years ago, or was it last year or the year before?
No, it was about 3 years ago now, wasn't it? Yeah. We've had Alex Tellers and Tyrone Malacia come in since then to motivate Luke Shaw.
But yeah, if you're him, and I know it's your boy at club, and you're looking about where do you want to play, he's it's not going to happen if it's been that long. So I think it's a good move for him, and getting him in now, it's like I say, if he's happy sitting on the bench for certain games, you can't really argue with that, can you?
No, he gets a bit of a press sometimes, Brandon Williams. I like him. You've met him. He's a nice lad. Obviously, he wasn't going to get much football under Erik ten Hag, but hopefully he can go to Ipswich and get his career going again. Just on Sergio Reguilon, I've got some quotes here. He says, "In life, you have to be ready for everything, and the chance to represent this great club with such an illustrious history is one that I could not turn down. Having spoken to the manager, I know what he needs from me, and I am ready to play my part in helping the team to achieve success. Excuse me. I know that I can contribute to Manchester United this season. I am ready to fight for this group and show everyone my qualities." I mean, saying the right things there. John Murtagh as well said a few bits and pieces, but I'll just wrap it up. He goes, he has good experience in both the Premier League and in European competitions, so he's ready to come into the squad and perform straight away. Am I thinking this kid isn't eligible for the Emirates? Does anyone know? Can we try and find out if he's available for... I have a feeling he had to be done by midday today or something for that. I might be completely wrong here. So if I've just made that up, then please let me know. But we'll try and find out if he is eligible for the Emirates. I've got a feeling he isn't, but I'm not 100% sure. Let us know what you think about the signing of Sergio Reguilon. He is available. There you go. Oh. Confirmed. He will be available to face Arsenal on Sunday. So he's available. Rasmus Hojlund's available. So there could be a few debutants in one of the most difficult games of the season.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know how good that is.
I think he's more excited in looking at a new centre forward than getting a third choice left back is not like, woo.
Yeah, but there's a lot of pressure on Hojlund, isn't there, going into this game?
Of course there is. Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to perform straight away. He's coming into a new league and stuff. But
I wish most United fans felt like that, Dave. But I have a sneaky suspicion
that everyone thinks he's going to score a hat trick. Yeah,
if he has a bit of a stinker or not even just not a very good game, I think they'll be on it.
It's not like he's been injured or anything either.
No, and it's not like he's 20 or whatever he is. He's only a kid, isn't he?
Yeah.
But it's exciting having someone like him, fresh pair of legs up front. We've not had that for quite a while. When's the last young striker we brought in? It might have been Martial.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because he's been here forever now, and we still think he's going to have his season.
Well, I don't think 23 goals in a season once, don't forget. What do you make of the pressure that's on Hojlund, Lauren? We'll get into the signings in a minute, just while we're on the topic of Hojlund, because he's going to start, he's going to play. I don't know if he's going to start. I presume I actually think he will, but he is going to feature. We've got into this scenario now where we're not really scoring goals with our attackers. We've had a few goals, but they've been sort of spread out amongst other players. So we're looking at our strikers and what we're lacking. He's coming in, young player, 9 goals in Serie A last season, so it was okay, but nothing to make you think. Also, me and I think it was me and Joe Smith talking about this earlier. Whether he likes it or not, because his name's very similar, because he's a similar age-ish. Because he's Scandinavian, he's blonde, he's quick, he's tall, he's going to get compared to Erling Haaland, unfairly, but he is going to, and that isn't going to help him because Erling Haaland's just a cyborg who's obviously got a lot more experience in top level football than this kid. So yeah, are you worried at all about Rasmus Hojlund? I know I'm painting a pretty bleak picture for him, but it is concerning for me.
I think at such a young age, I think he has got very high expectations of him when he comes in. I think at a young age that could be quite hard on a player, but I hope that kind of the club and Ten Hag protects him slightly in a way that if he doesn't start off great, they don't just drop him or anything like that, because I think the fans as well can really get on a player's back very quickly, as you were just saying. So I think there is high expectations of him. There is a lot of pressure. I can't say I know he's going to deal with it because we don't. So hopefully he does, but I think it is quite unfair on him at such a young age for these expectations.
No, you're right. I'm hoping the club... You remember under Fergie, we used to look at the personality of players, didn't we? When we bought players, Fergie used to say it's not just their ability, you've got to know they've got the right temperament. I'm hoping the club have looked at that. I'm hoping they've done a bit.
The club aren't really saying, listen, this guy's going to do this, this and this.
No.
It's obviously fans who are saying it. I think, we've got to give him a bit of time and... be sensible, really.
Sensible, time, patience. Talking rubbish, man. Peter Kelly says, I get getting Reguilon due to the injuries of Shaw Malacia, but why then loan out Fernandez now, as there's no backup if Reguilon gets injured? So is this Alvaro Fernandez? I don't even know what.
Yeah, we just let Gerardo go as well today, haven't we?
Yeah, so that does seem. Charlie McNeil, our mate's gone as well, hasn't he? On loan as well. So we'll get into, in fact, I can give you quickly. It looks like Fernandez is set to join Granada on a season-long loan. Gerardo has gone to Espanyol, permanent. Yeah. You well up on you. Is you surprised at that?
Not really, because the way we were talking about getting players in and in his position, it's like, well, what am I going to do? So, yeah, I'm not surprised. Going to Spain, yeah, I think it's a good move for him.
Yeah. Charlie McNeil is going on loan to Stevenage. Again, do you think that just makes sense?
I think his issue has been, obviously, at under 18 level, he's brilliant, where we got him and Hugill at the same time. Hugill was obviously the bigger player. I mean, in stature, not in, physically, not as in...
Yeah, as in, like, the name or whatever.
He went to play 21s, more physical, probably did a little bit better. McNeil was banging in goals for the 18s, but when he stepped up to the 21s, he's always struggled a little bit. Putting him in a team like Stevenage, the teams he's going to come across is going to be quite physical, so I think it'd be the best thing for him.
100%, I agree. I think Charlie McNeil's a very, very talented player. Hopefully, he can reach the heights that his potential promises. We've not even mentioned as well. We've had the Amrabat. Here we go. I think we just we did a video just before it happened, so we thought we'd talk about it now. Lauren, Sofyan Amrabat, what's he like? Is he any good?
You're asking the wrong person.
Do you mean you don't watch Fiorentina every week? Like most of my timeline appeared to do. Because I've seen him for Morocco, he looks alright, and I've seen I've seen one game for Fiorentina. But there was a big massive clamour from a lot of United fans to get this kid in, and I'm hoping it's because of how good he is. I mean, I've already seen the clips on the internet, but they don't tell you anything. I'm old enough to remember Gabriel Obertan clips making me think he was the next George Best. How important do you think it was to get that deal done? Just for cover for Casemiro, a different option, especially with Kobe Manu. I know he's a different type of player being injured, and Mason Mount as well. Yeah,
I think we still need to bulk up that midfield. We need the rotation. Again, I said that last season on here. I have heard, I don't know this, but I have heard like his passing ability is really good.
Right.
And we were lacking a lot of that last season in the midfield.
You don't need passes. What's up with that? Hey, that's crazy talk. You're right. It does feel at times like there's a lot of pressure on certain players in the team, and to sort of they don't get it going.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure on Casemiro at the moment. A lot of people are got a few words to say about him because he's been quieter than usual.
Yeah.
And it's like, but he bangs in a goal and he's the best again.
It's so basic, that argument, isn't it? Oh, he scored. Oh, he's mint again now.
Yeah.
Like, what was 4 years old? Like, he's one of the best defensive midfielders around.
He's been classed since he joined us.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the sort of, sometimes you look at players like Casemiro because he is so good. Sometimes I've criticised him, he can do better.
Yeah.
And obviously the suspensions is one thing, but we know what he's about. And I think having Amrabat come in, whether that is rotation or play alongside him, is only going to help Casemiro. Let us know what you think about the signing of Sofyan Amrabat, because here we go now. That's like an official announcement, isn't it? I think
the only issue is once everyone gets fit again, is how's he going to have space for all these players? I think if everyone's fit by January, you might see a couple more people go.
Yeah. I mean,
if Mainer's fit, Mount's fit, fully fit, Casemiro's going, Eriksen's going. Yeah, I don't understand.
Do you think maybe Champions League if it's kicking off there?
But I mean, there is a lot.
But you need if you look.
I know there is options, but there is a lot of options, I think.
I mean, we'll get into it in a minute anyway about outgoings and incomings, but I think that's the sort of issue you want.
Yeah.
You want options, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
What we had last season was, remember when Eriksen got injured and it was like, we missed him, didn't we? Like, there wasn't anyone who could come in and sort of do that. Now, ideally, you'd want two similar-ish players who can play in the same position, but we've not had that for a little while, and like Casemiro's been our only real DM.
And it's someone under the age of 30 as well.
That's just weird, isn't it? I don't know what's going on there. Jerome T. Green says, Rasmus is a United fan from being a child. He'll run for us until his lungs give out. I think he'll smash it. Good stuff. Abhinav Verma says, Amrabat will play AFCON also. We want to play 60 matches. Yeah, just on that, it looks like Onana's going into the AFCON, or he's going back to Cameroon because he had a little fallout with his international manager. So we might see him go out if he plays in the AFCON. He might not be available for a few games, but then we've brought in this kid from Fenerbahce. Is it by Altay, Bayindir? I know I'm pronouncing that one completely wrong. So yeah, he might get some games as well. Let us know what you think about the signing of Sergio Reguilon and Amrabat, because let's face facts, if we've got a here we go, it's a done deal, isn't it? Simon Cowie says, Jay, we will still be 2 players short of having the minimum depth needed, which is 35 players, and that is 1 right back and 1 striker, so we can rotate and cover for injuries. Right, let's get into it. Let's just talk a little bit about some of the signings we've made. So if you go back to the start of the window, Mason Mount came in relatively quickly. Bit of a left field one. I don't think anyone, until we were linked with him, was expecting it. It wasn't an obvious one, was it? Because you thought, we don't tend to buy, I know it does happen, we don't tend to buy many players off Chelsea.
For me, it was a strange one. When we first heard the rumours, I just thought there's no chance. He was like Mr. Chelsea, wasn't he? And you just didn't expect it. But when he came, I thought, he'd do a great job. Probably not at the best of starts and got the injury, but I do think when he comes back a few games and he'll push on, I think he'd be all right. Yeah,
what do you reckon, Lauren? What did you make at the time of the Mason Mount signing, and what have you made of it since?
So I wasn't too impressed. He's never really excited me, Mason Mount.
Right, okay.
I know it's probably an unpopular opinion, especially with Chelsea fans, but I've just never really looked at him and thought, this guy's class.
Yeah.
So then when we got him, I was a bit like, oh, God's sake, here we go again. Like, why do we need him? And then I don't know whether his injury's a little bit, how do you put it? He's not been playing too well for us. So is he getting an injury to take the pressure away from him?
Oh, you're into conspiracy.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's fine, but
maybe not fine, but maybe
he's like, I've hurt myself.
Not as bad as he.
Just
takes the pressure off him, doesn't it, for a little bit?
I probably need a few weeks off. Right. I'll be fine for England though. Don't worry about that. 'Cause, I'll get my England caps. But maybe, I mean, listen, I was like you. When we were first linked with him, me and Steve did a video for his channel, and I was like, no. Do you know what I mean? And then when we got him, I was like, yes, what a great signing. But one thing that made me warm to him was the sort of outrage from Chelsea fans. They were really fuming that they lost him, not just because he's an academy product, but because they rated him. You look at the difference between how they reacted to him leaving and Kai Havertz. It was night and day. They didn't give a toss about Havertz. And Mount, they thought was a very good player, and then you can say, he's a Champions League winner, and his numbers are relatively decent. Yes, he had a stinker last season, but the entire team did. So do you give him a bit of a pass there? I think it's safe to say, we'll have to wait and see how it pans out. Yeah. But it hasn't been a start where you go, oh, that's a really good start. No. He's done okay in patches, should we say? Not
I know it wasn't.
I think I'm wait and see what happens.
Wasn't the greatest opposition, but I thought he looked all right in pre-season. Then when the league finally started, he was just a bit off the pace.
It was just annoyed me in pre-season when he missed that chance. Oh. Not because I'm not people. It's just you see something like you think it starts to build a narrative, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? You know that you thought. I remember watching it. I think we were here. Was it Lons against? Who was it against? I can't remember. Was it against? I can't remember. It was at Old Trafford, wasn't it? And I remember. I think it was. I might be wrong about that. To be honest, I can't remember where it was.
I
just remember it was put on a plate for him.
Yeah, I only saw the replay because we were in Ireland.
Yeah. I can't remember, but I remember watching it thinking that's going to get clipped up. Chelsea fans are going to be loving it, and it's going to start building this narrative of, he's been a disaster. Then you had the first game against Wolves, which is pretty underwhelming for everyone. I didn't think he was that bad against Wolves, but then the knives are out a little bit, and people are going, what's Mason Mount doing? Obviously, we lose the Spurs game.
Like you say, though, everyone had a stinker in that game, so you can't really blame him for that.
No, I think people underestimate as well the difficulty when you come from a club like Chelsea, which is a big club, but it's not the same as United. It's just not. In the terms of stature, pressure. He's coming in that number 7 shirt as well. And for the first time in his life, he's got a big price tag on his head because obviously he didn't have that at Chelsea. So there's lots to deal with there. I think he's a good player. And I trust this manager. The manager obviously wanted him, got him because he was available. It wasn't like it was sort of thrust upon him. It very much felt like the manager drove this transfer. So hopefully he will come good. Anyway, as you know, right, smooth sack summer is almost over. But before it ends, don't you panic, right? Don't worry if you need to make sure you've got a smooth sack, Dave, because our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in below the waist grooming, have the best tools for the job when it comes to giving yourself a smooth sack this summer. So you can join the 8 million men worldwide, and I think that is pretty much the entire male population of the planet Earth, 8 million, using the code HOUSEN to get 20% off and free shipping, because Steve might not be here, but his legacy lives on. Because I know what you're thinking. What do you get? Right? It's all right getting 20% off free shipping. What am I getting? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you. You get the performance package. Not 1.0, not 2.0, not 3.0. 4.0, yeah? The 4.0 performance package. And in there, you get the lawnmower 4.0. You get the crop preserver, the crop toner. You get the boxer briefs. You get the shed travel bag. You get the weed whacker for your nose and ear hair. Men of a certain age, Dave, you're edging towards that age. I'm already there. Help sort that out. And also, nail clippers, no. What is this, the 1940s? No. Shears 2.0 to sort your nails out, bro. Come on, sort it out. And you put it all in the shed travel bag. You look the business, you feel the business, you smell the business. It's just everything you could want from below the waist grooming. Manscaped have got you covered. So go and check out the link in the description. 20% off. You get all those goodies, everything I've spoken about there, and it is just in time for when it goes to smooth sack summer to windy autumn. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, go and check out the link in the description. 20% off and free shipping using the code HOWSOON. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this podcast, and your balls will thank you. Excuse me. Neil Crode says, should have gone for Orban Taremi as backup striker. Andrew Miller, welcome to the Academy. There's extra content on the Academy. Don't forget as well. Ant L says, Bayern have had the window we needed. Bayern Munich doing bits, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think they got the striker we needed as well.
Well, should we get into that then, right? Because we got Mason Mount. In fact, no, let's tell you what. We've got Mason Mount. Let's try and do it in, I think this is in order. I'm probably getting it all wrong. Sorry? Oh, you got the order here. Thank you. Right. So we got Mason Mount. Then it was Andre Onana. Lauren, Onana comes in. How excited were you?
Can't even tell you.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
See the difference there between the Mason Mount? You look like you're ready to hit me. When I asked you about that one, you couldn't have been less enthused.
Like, watching Onana in the Champions League, I remember me and my dad being like, wouldn't mind him at United.
Yeah.
And then obviously when it actually happened, we were like, oh my God, wasn't expecting this, actually someone that we wanted. We've got, honestly, watching him just makes me happy. Like, seeing him so far out the pitch, we are going to expect a couple of clangers for him when he plays that kind of style. But, yeah, I just love watching him. Every ball finds a player.
Yeah.
We've not had that in a while.
No.
And I just think he's really exciting, and I think it's what we've needed.
Can you just address that as well, right? Because I can't remember that ever happening before. If you guys, you've got to correct me, please tell me. Watching the Champions League final, I presume it's the Champions League final you're talking about. Seeing a player in the Champions League final, thinking he's mint, we should get him, and then we do.
Yeah.
That summer, like a month after the final.
Felt good. It felt well good.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't think we've done that before, have we?
Crackers, isn't it? I can't even think of that. I might have done. I might just not be remembering it. But
you're shocked after.
Yeah. But it's a bit like, because I'm with you. I watched him in that Champions League final. Thought the way he plays, that's exactly what we need. I thought it was time for David De Gea to move on. I know they were still talking about him staying. I don't even think he's got a club, has he, David De Gea?
No.
Which is sad
we talked about it before, haven't we?
Yeah, I think he's...
He was looking at Real Madrid, wasn't it? And then that kind of just fell through.
You think someone would have him, but anyway, digress. So yeah, Onana, Dave, what
for me, I'm just glad to have a keeper. He didn't even have to be that good.
That is a good point, yeah.
I don't
need a keeper. Playing without a keeper is
we
mental.
just needed someone to come and claim balls and pass it out with his feet, and he didn't even have to be that good. Just as long as you do that,
What about keepers that claim Wolves players whilst not claiming balls as well?
If you can do that and not give a penalty away, I think you're genius.
Perfect Man United player, innit?
I don't think I've ever seen a player look more guilty than he did. It's just like, his face just said, oh, God, why was this not done here? But thankfully we got away with that one. No, I'm with you both. I like the fact he commands his area. I like the fact his passing is mint, by the way.
It's not just that though, he gives bollockings to players as well, which De Gea never did.
No. Yeah. You need a bit of that. And I don't feel like one of my second biggest bugbear of Peter Schmeichel, other than the cartwheels at Main Road, but let's get over that. Come on, let's move on. It's been 20 years. Was sometimes, and I think Kane has said this and that, it felt a bit performative when he was going berserk at certain players. It did feel a little bit like, okay, how much of this is necessity and how much is it just you letting off steam and showing
there is
to
a
the
difference
crowd.
Between your defenders fucking up and then just going and grabbing the ball and putting it out for
David De Gea didn't say anything, and I think that was collective at the time. do you remember like the 5-0 against Liverpool where it felt like no one was talking to each other? Maguire, Shaw, De Gea, there was no one like going, come on lads, or you know what I mean?
You felt like there was no passion, was there? Or like...
And I know like obviously it's not just about that, but you want to see a little bit more from your players, especially in a game like that. And when you look at Martinez, he doesn't shout necessarily at players, but he gets players going. Varane gets players going. Onana obviously, you know, he's not scared of letting his voice be heard. So it does feel like we've got a few more people in the defence and at the back who can be vocal as well, which is good to see. Hit that like button, by the way, people. Over 2,200 people watching. We haven't even got to 200 likes yet. Let's get to 400 likes. You can do it. Right, so Mount, underwhelming for you.
All right.
Meh. I'm all right with it. I'm warming to it, despite his relatively underwhelming start. Andre Onana, love that signing. Pretty much, if we could have got anyone who was realistic, he'd have been him. Yeah. So I'll have that one. Rasmus Hojlund. This is where the plot thickens, because a very good young player, but still relatively unproven. Dave, I'll start with you. There was a time when we were getting ourselves, or I certainly was allowing myself to think we might be in for Harry Kane.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with him.
And that obviously didn't happen. But
yeah,
we got Rasmus Hojlund.
Like you just said, he's a young, decent player, so yeah, glad he's here, but I think the majority of people was hoping it would be Harry Kane who was coming instead. I still don't understand why he's gone to Bayern Munich. Yeah, I understand he wants to win trophies and win leagues, but he was that close to breaking the Premier League record. He could have gone afterwards, and he could have gone for free if he stayed at Spurs another year. So I was quite convinced he'd come to us. I just thought I think he would have been that missing piece that would have helped us win the league again.
I talked myself into it. I thought we're not getting Harry Kane. Forget that. And then I started talking myself into it. And I started convincing myself that winning the Bundesliga, right, this is where I lost the plot. I think I talked myself into it during the live, like as the video was unfolding. I was like, winning the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich, it's embarrassing. Like, you're embarrassing yourself.
You know what is embarrassing?
Going to Germany and winning a league with Bayern Munich. It's like you're better off not doing that. That's what I tried to convince myself. That makes any sense whatsoever.
Seen the behind the scenes of the promo stuff where he's dressing up in the lederhosens and stuff.
Yeah.
And he is really embarrassed doing that.
Do you reckon he's on the phone with his agent? Like, I don't remember anything about lederhosen when we were talking about this move. Yeah, obviously he goes there. He's going to win the Bundesliga. He's going to have half a chance at Champions League. I don't think they'll win it. I think they're too far behind other clubs, including, unfortunately, Manchester City. But he's got a slight chance. I think they've won it twice in 11 years or something. Hasn't it? Is it? How many times have Bayern Munich won the Champions League? I think
they've lost it a couple of times, haven't they?
Yeah, they beat PSG, didn't they? A few years.
You know what? They said it in the draw as well yesterday.
Did Chelsea beat them as well? Did Chelsea beat Munich?
No, in the final. In the final, it was City, wasn't it? Chelsea beat City in the final, which was fantastic. I was a proper Chelsea fan for that evening. There you go. So, yeah, they've won 6. I'm just thinking, like, sort of recently, my point being, like, you've got half a chance of winning the Champions League at Bayern Munich. So, yes, you're going to win the Bundesliga, that's a given, and you have a decent stab at the Champions League. So I get why Harry Kane did it, even though she hadn't done and we should have come to us, but I don't even know if we could have afforded him.
I think that was the main issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, because Spurs were always going to play hardball with us, because I think it would have been a hard sell for Daniel Levy as well to sell him to a Premier League rival. The Spurs fans would have been going berserk. So Rasmus Hojlund, he scored 27 goals in his career. So there's still, and he's only young. I'm not having a dig at the lad, but it shows that he's very unproven. But you can see there's a talent there. So that one, you think, okay, it's a striker. We need a striker. Probably not. It's like the other end of the spectrum, isn't it? With Onana. Onana's like the guy, no matter what you want.
Yeah.
Hojlund's like probably the guy you think you'd have him. Good young player, but wouldn't have been top of my picks. Then we get, this is where it gets a little bit trickier, should we say? So I'll say Bayindir.
Well done.
Yeah. Now, I know for at least 7 years you've been banging on about this kid, haven't you? Saying we've got to go and get him. Like, when are we going to sign him? Listen, Dean Henderson left. He's come in. Has anyone got an opinion or does anyone know anything about him? I mean, if you do, I'm not trying to dismiss you, either of you.
I ain't got a clue. I mentioned this on the Watch Along on Saturday. I still don't understand why we let Kovar go. If we're going to get someone in like this, Kovar was a perfect person who would have been happy on the bench, maybe playing 21s every now and again, and then being good enough to be the backup goalkeeper. He had a decent season last year, winning the league when he went on loan. I was one of the most up-and-coming keepers that's going, so I just don't understand why we let him go and then got someone else in.
It's typical United, that.
I know. Yeah. Why nurture a player and see him come good and then keep him?
If it was the other way around and we got rid of him and got Kovac in, we're going, we just got this amazing young goalkeeper in.
It is a weird one, isn't it? I kind of get it if you're Ericsson and you've got your mind set on something. I understand that. But it did seem a little bit... I know you've been raving about Kovac, so yeah, it did seem a little bit left field. But maybe I also think as well, unfortunately, in the world of Glazonomics, I think Bayindir was 4.3 million and we got 15 million plus 5 million in add-ons for Henderson. So that may be freed up a bit. I know we would have had Kovac for nothing. Yeah. I get that. I'm not arguing on that front. My point is, like, if he wanted Bayindir, he might have gone, well, I can get this kid in who I want and also have money left over. So I don't know if that had an effect. It's a second choice keeper, really, isn't it? For another second choice or third choice keeper, it kind of makes sense. John Shin's in the chat. Good vibes, John. Says Rasmus Hojlund is a fantastic player, but still young in capital letters and not yet proven. I have faith he'll come good for us. Yes, I'm not dismissing Hojlund or trying to. I'm just my point of what I made with Hojlund is we are going to have to be a little bit patient. I think because he's still young and he's still relatively unproven.
We got a young Scandinavian striker years ago, though, didn't we?
Ah, yes.
Yeah, and he did all right.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
So it could be then.
Yeah, you never know. Hojlund in 30 years could be the manager.
Exactly. Could be getting sacked.
Yeah, he could be the caretaker boss that saves us, and then people spend the next 2 years debating whether he's good enough, calling him a Danish PE teacher.
Norwegian.
I thought. Wait a minute. Yeah. No, he's Danish.
I thought you were talking about.
Yeah. Oh. Get out. Even I know Ollie's Norwegian.
I thought that's what I was worried about then.
Yeah, because I thought, I'm sure he's Danish.
No.
Right. Yeah, do you get it?
Yeah, I'm with you now. I'm with you.
Right. Let's move on quickly. Next up on our list is Sofyan Amrabat. Now, we've done him before Reguilon, even though Reguilon's confirmed, but it doesn't matter. We'll get to Reguilon in a minute because it's not that deep. So, Sofyan Amrabat, he's the one that a lot of people sort of last few days like we need to get him in. At one point, it looked like it was going to be what's his name, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. He looked like he was moving to the front. I did the news a few days ago, and Amrabat had cooled, and it looked like Højbjerg was about to happen. And then it sort of switched round. Amrabat has basically done everything he can to make this move happen. He a little short of chaining himself to the Fiorentina gates, if they've even gotten it. He couldn't have done much more. I mean, he's not been with the squad for about 3 weeks or whatever it's been. He's made his feelings clear. The club had sort of said to him, right, if you want to go, you can go. You need to make that move happen. He's obviously waiting for United to do it. Fulham were about to be interested in him. Other clubs were about to be interested in him. He didn't want any of it. He just wanted to come to Manchester United, which I love. Good player from what we gather, from what we've heard. You mentioned as well his passing and stuff like that. How happy are we with this one, Dave?
Yeah, it's another player that we probably needed, but once again, it's players who aren't proving in the Premier League that we've got to worry about. If we've seen it time and time again, where you get the odd gem that just hits the ground running and is amazing, where we've got loads of others that just aren't up to it. But fingers crossed, I'm not being depressed here. Fingers crossed he can be one that hits the ground running and does quite well. But it's just looking at that. You look at that list of the players we brought in now. You don't see like they're going to make winners of the league. That's the issue.
Yeah, Amrabat obviously spoke about him. You know his talents. Reguilon has come in. I mean, is this just a bit of a I'm not being dismissive of the kid, but like what do you do?
I think it's just let's get him in. We need him right now. Thanks.
It isn't it? We can't. This is MUTV. We're going to sit here and go, yeah, we've got this is amazing. Like, no disrespect to the kid, but he's coming in to basically, replace injured players. That's it. And he's decent. We were linked with him, weren't we? A few years ago when he went to Spurs, there was talk of us getting him, and apparently it was at Real Madrid, wasn't it? And then Real Madrid won. Real Madrid wanted some sort of deal where you got him on loan. There was an obligation to buy. United didn't want to go for that. I'm not going to use my internet's gone down on my laptop. What's the code for you in there? Cheers. I think I know what it is, but Yeah, so sorry. Do get involved in the comments in the chat, and I'll try and sort my my internet out so I can read them. So, Lauren, start with you. If you were to rate the incomings, the transfer window, in terms of the players we've brought in, how would you rate it?
I think I'd say about a 6.
A 6?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because I think we've got some good, some unproven, not sure yet. So it's slightly above average because we have had quite a few people, you know, the quantity, as we said before, we've got a good amount of players in.
Yeah.
But as we were saying as well, a lot of them are unproven, so we don't know yet. So yeah, 6, just slightly above average.
Streets Don't Lie says 6 is fair. Motion Flick says 7 is fair. Mancuni 92 says a 6. Ross Murphy says 6 is a fair window. Phobos Taco Man says 6.5. Ollie Aston says 6, could have been an 8 with an extra striker. Lauren says 6. What are you saying?
I was going to go a solid 6.
What are you copying for? Do your own homework. Stop cheating.
Well, him as well, are they copying?
Why are you saying a 6 as well?
Because I'm not really... It's nothing that's really excited me. Mm-hmm. Maybe the goalkeepers, I was happy with that. Getting a striker in, was happy with that. But it wasn't a striker where you think we're going to win the league now. There's nothing there that says we're going to win trophies this year.
Yeah.
If you put that as a 5-a-side team, what are they going to win?
They're not the only players that will play for us, by the way.
No, but
you know what I mean? It's not like that's our new team.
They're the same.
And we're only playing 7.
They're going to change us and make us a better team.
I mean, the thing is, in a transfer window, you can, right? Even though we all love transfers, I love transfers. You can't get enough of them. But realistically, you can't bring in like 5 first-team players in a window. That never happens. No. Like, even if you're rebuilding, you usually bring in like 2 or 3 first teamers, if that, and then 1 or 2 squad players.
But you want to bring in at least one person who's a game changer.
Do you know what, right? I don't mean to get over Eggit, but I think Onana's massive.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
I really do. I agree, but I just think when you look at the football, goalkeepers, you've got to keep them separate when you... Okay, you're not having... I think you need an outfield player who's just...
I'm with you. I agree with you both. And I think, for me, I'm going to go for a 7. And the only reason I'm going to do that is the goalkeeping situation. I think it's massive to get a goalkeeper in to replace David De Gea, because I thought we were going to stick with him, and I love what he's done at the club over the years, but it was time for him to move on. And to get the keeper that seems to fit exactly what we need, who's played at the highest level, who had that, stormer, like you say, in the Champions League run and the final, it just made so much sense that I'm buzzing about that one. I think 1 or 2 of the other signings, you can go, like, we needed a striker. Going out there and getting a young striker was great. We should have got another striker, though. That's the issue. Should have got someone who with a bit of experience. So we'll lose a few points for that. Bringing in a midfielder as well, who can hopefully, rotate or play alongside Casemiro is a big one. The Mount one, I'm glad we've got him, because the manager obviously wanted him, and like you say, he's a good player, but he's not like I'm massively over that. And the rest, the other goalkeeper and the left back, it's a bit neither here nor there.
That's what I mean. If you want for Onana, you're in a 5.
You are?
If you want for Onana,
I
you're
agree.
in a 5.
I agree with that.
I'm the same.
I think if we'd have stuck with De Gea and not brought in Onana, I'd have been massively underwhelmed in this transfer window. Yeah. And I think that makes a huge difference. Let us know what you think. Right, now I want to talk about outgoings, because people don't tend to care that much, do they, about outgoings? Well, they've gone.
I really care this transfer window.
Okay. Well, in that case, we'll start with you, Lauren, because you really care about outgoings in the transfer window. So we've had a few outgoings. I'm just trying to work this out, actually, because my memory is... But one player we can talk about straight away. It's not an outgoing, but not renewing David De Gea. Now, I don't want to feel like we're hating on De Gea, because we've spoken about him a little bit and we've maybe said, it's time to move on or whatever, but he was a big player for us. First time in since 2011. He's not been our number 1 goalkeeper, or he's not been at the club. So what did you make of the fact that we didn't renew? Was that a positive step for you?
I think, unfortunately, it was. The same as you. It was his time to go. He's done huge things for us while he's been at the club, but I think he just came to the end. There was more mistakes than there was good by the end, in my opinion. Or not mistakes, just the quality, such as his passing and things like that. I think he just dipped a little bit, and I think we probably would have been in the Europa League final if it wasn't for him.
Might have stopped City winning a treble. I know it wasn't just on him, but he didn't exactly cover himself. One thing I don't like, right, is I hate seeing players that I've loved and respected going through it and just having to defend them and watching them sort of be a shadow of them for themselves and seeing all the criticism they're getting, especially a good lad like De Gea, who's obviously a seasoned pro, and he's always, he's got a good attitude, and he always comes out after the Brentford game where he held his hands up and said, look, it's my mistake and all that. And you can argue, and I know people have done, well, you got the clean sheet record, but you can see what you can see on the pitch, and it just wasn't really happening for him. So I felt like it was the right time for him to go. Some of these players, I forgot they'd gone. Phil Jones finally left. I mean, we don't need to get into that because that'll just be silly. What did you make about David De Gea leaving? Was that?
I think he stayed probably 2 years longer than he should have done.
Okay.
The decline in him was, for the past 5 years, was steadily going down. I didn't think we played good football when he played. I think even when Henderson came in, people complained about Henderson not making the kind of saves De Gea made, but we played better football. The way we distributed the ball was much better. And I think that for me, that changed my mind on De Gea, where I thought we've got to get someone else in.
Fair enough. We'll stick on the goalkeepers then. Dean Henderson. I'm
quite happy when, I think, with the mess of, was it last season? No, the end of the season before, with all the leaks and things he was saying, and I just think he just probably would have been a disruption if he had stayed, I think.
Okay. I mean, he gave that interview, didn't he, to TalkSport, where he said he'd been treated, the way he'd been treated was criminal.
I think the issue with him was last season De Gea was supposed to go and he was promised first team for keeper, and then that didn't happen. They sent him out on loan again. He's like, well, what the fuck? It's probably the best time for him to go now. Now Onana's come in, he's obviously not going to be number one, so there's no point of him sticking around.
It's a shame the way it sort of panned out, innit?
Yeah.
Because there was a time when he got in, he was first choice under Ollie for that sort of 4 or 5 months.
And
spell,
like I said, I thought we played much better football when he played. We conceded some goals, but we played better football and scored more goals.
I think he was just probably a little bit too bitter about the fact that
that's
and also he was unfortunately he got COVID at a time when he would have been the number one, didn't he? So that sort of threw a spanner in the works on that one. But yeah, time for him to move on. Fred, your mate.
What a shame. What an absolute shame.
I'm surprised you've not knocked this window down to a wind. You were doing incomings, but
was he the greatest of all players of all time? No,
debatable, but he's in the mix.
But listen, he was very underrated. I thought he put 100% in, more than any other player in the team. He always give it his all.
He put 100% in. He's definitely putting more than any other player in the team for most of his time at United.
He was, what? And he always, you can tell he loved being there as well. And I just thought he was a decent player. He wasn't the best, but like I said, if you put the effort in, you'll always be a friend of mine.
Very poetic. Sounds like a Valentine's card. Lauren, what did you make?
I only sent him two.
It's not even a joke, I did. Lauren, what did you make of Fred leaving? Time for him to go, or would you like to see him stick around?
Absolutely gutted.
Really?
Yeah,
this is like the Fred fan club on here.
No, really. Loved him.
You're worse than him. I thought you were bad, and now Lauren's taking it up a notch.
Honest to God, the start of this season, I've missed him so much.
Oh, really?
Like, there's some games, like, we could do with him still, just his work rate in that midfield. And as we say, like, just the way he tries and he's running. And I just think he was a great squad player for us, and I'm gutted he's gone.
I feel like, I understand where you're both coming from, but there was always this one, though.
Yeah, I just wanted to see him with the...
Do you know what I mean?
I just wanted to see him with the armband on. That's all I wanted to see. I just wanted to see him with the armband on. That was it.
Give us one game.
Yeah, one game. But even Jason Park wore the armband for one game.
Do you remember when he had that shot? Was it at Spurs? I can't remember what it was. When he went into the Rose Ed and him and Ollie were laughing and everyone was going mad. Do you know what I mean? It was like, he's a likeable guy.
Exactly. We knew what we were getting with him, and sometimes,
I met him once down in a mix zone, and they brought him out and he went to Mitten. And I said to the United guy, I said, can I grab him after he's finished with Mitten? Andy Mitten from United We Stand. And he said, he doesn't speak English, he speaks Portuguese, he can try, he won't say anything, you won't know what you're on about. And Mitten obviously speaks Portuguese, so I interviewed him, so I just shook his hand and said, good game, he was in pre-season. But yeah, you could tell he's a popular player amongst the players. always gave his best, did a shift. I think with 1 year left on his deal and being a 30-year-old, it made sense for him to move on.
Yeah.
And at times, I know you two both love him. If we're going to be really honest, there were times when the quality probably wasn't quite there. But as someone who can,
shockers. But even when he was bad, I always thought he put the effort in. Yeah,
and at a time when some of his teammates weren't, I think he was one of the few players under Ralph Rangnick who actually covered himself in any glory. Do you know what I mean?
I think someone said as well, Fred can have his best game ever in one half of the game and then his worst game in the second half.
Isn't it mental as well, right, that Fred would have his best game against City? Like, you put him against Wolves and he looked like he just won a competition to play for Manchester United.
Big game
Put him
player.
against De Bruyne and Silva and he dominated the midfield. You're like, at the Etihad, you'd be like, what's going on here? Like, how is this happening? And he did it a few times. So, yeah, I think he'll be fondly remembered, but it was time to move on. Danny in the super chat says, if we stuck with De Gea, would have had more money for a top striker. We're still conceding, not scoring. Bought a young striker, young second striker, and not top first choice. So he's actually he wants to see De Gea. He would have liked to see De Gea stay. Let us know. Do you agree? We've let a lot of players go. Like, a lot of youngsters have gone, the likes of Ethan Laird.
There's a couple... I'm going about.
When I say youngsters, players that are probably not, early 20s, Ethan Laird, Axel Tuanzebe, of course, Zidane Iqbal.
Yesterday or today, Ted and Mengi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up because he was a player that, even at 18, I remember seeing some people say, get him in. Get him in the first team. I think
he was 15, captain in the under-18s, just dominating people, looking amazing, and then when he was 16, was in the 21s, looked amazing. Went out on loan. Was it Derby with Rooney? Did really well.
Derby and Birmingham, his 2 loans.
Yeah, obviously he's a United fan as well. Proper leader. It's just a shame to see him go. It's just sad times.
It is sad.
Part of the academy review, wasn't
he? He was part of the academy review. I remember asking Steve once when his Mengi playing for Derby got a game this weekend, and then Steve messaged him and found out that way instead of using Google. He messaged Mengi and got a reply straight away. I was like, "What's all that about?" But yeah, he's gone to Luton. There's certain players you want to see succeed. I would love this kid to smash it at Luton, have the career that he should have, because, like you say, a leader, great player, great attitude, just wasn't happening for him at Manchester United. And he's one of those players that his circumstances were different. If he was in the Fergie era, he might have had a chance. Be brought in gradually, and then
I still think if Ollie was still around,
that's true. I think now no chance. It's not happening for him. So, the one player who come through the academy who went for money though, Anthony Elanga. It was started off so well.
You did.
Rhythm is a dancer. Anthony Elanga, right?
Goosebumps.
That chant was ringing out everywhere. I remember being away at Atletico Madrid and everyone was singing. Obviously scored there as well. Had a very good sort of start to his United career. Some important goals at Ellen Road, of course. You were always raving about him on the academy review. You would not stop raving about him.
I think the issue was he never really stepped up to the level he was at 18s and 21s. He was just so dominant, like on that left-hand side. We always talked about there. He used to cut in and just put one in the top corner every time. Yeah, but he never really got into that. When he first went to the first team, I thought he struggled first 5 or 6 games.
I remember was it the Leicester one at home where he just didn't. He looked like he just played it too safe, like just 5-yard passes, and I'm not trying to run with the ball or anything. But I think we ruined him. Not ruined him forever, but at United.
No, but the issue. I mean, everyone can say, "Oh, he had a crap career for the first team." Good riddance kind of thing. He's gone to Forest. I think he'll do well. But the thing is, he played over 50 times for the first team, which is crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah, 65.
Yeah, which is mental.
So
really.
Sorry, some of them are the under 21. So I think 59 appearances, maybe.
Which is a lot of appearances.
The trouble is like when he stopped scoring under Ralph Rangnick, he stopped scoring. He went on this horrible run. I think by the time he left United, not scored since February last year or something like that. But he was getting picked every week, and he's getting picked ahead of Marcus at times. You're like, why? Marcus is a proven Premier League attacker.
I think at the time it was once again work rate. He was working out of the Marcus at the time.
But I think it was counterproductive because I think the team wasn't getting anything out of him,
I agree.
He wasn't getting anywhere. And you used to see him sort of being brought on last season, and he'd come on for the last 5-10 minutes and just barely touch the ball, or he'd be in space and people won't pick him out. I just felt bad for the kid because
I think his confidence was shot once he stopped scoring. That was it. Then he couldn't really get back into the swing of things. I think he had a really good patch, and then he had a hype, and then he just plateaued and never really improved to what we needed him to do.
No, I agree. I'm going to mention 2 players quickly before we wrap up. Ethan Laird and Ethan Galbraith. 2 players you used to rave about, especially Galbraith. I saw him he was at Salford, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, he's gone to
Leighton Orient.
Yeah, Neil Ryan's gone there,
Right, okay.
So I think he's gone with him. Yeah, Galbraith. You know what I thought about him? I thought he was class.
Yeah.
Ethan Laird, another great player. He's top lad as well. You know, very critical of himself, and always put the effort in. I mean, 21s and even 18s level. I remember a game we won 4-1, and I remember him coming to the side of the pitch. His dad used to be at the side of the pitch saying to me, we won 4-1, and his dad's going, well done. He's like, no, but we conceded. He's dead disappointed, and everyone else is like celebrating the win, and he was.
No wonder we got rid of him with that mentality. We don't need that at this club, son.
Yeah, there's some good players I've seen time and time again play at youth level, so it's sad to see him go, really. It is.
There was a bit of a question mark of injuries at one point, wasn't there? And he's played a lot of football last couple of seasons, and that's good to see in it because
he went out on loan as well, and I don't think he had the best of time out on loan, but you hope the best for him.
Abdullah Ibrahim says, Dave, what happened to the academy review? Will you be doing it again this season? Do you want to bring it? Do you want to do it again?
It's Jay said we're not allowed to do it anymore. That's what happened.
Yeah. I didn't say I said no such thing. I said I wanted to do it, and you told me to.
We talked about this on Saturday. It's because it's not genuine if I don't watch the games, and if I don't watch the games, I'm not going to do it.
You can't do like that. Just pretend. Yeah. Bluster. Dave actually watched the games and made notes. Well, we'll try and bring it back. If Dave can be bothered to start watching the academy, do you know what I mean? Realise that this club is actually built on our academy, and just the first team and transfers, which is all you seem to be bothered about now. Now you've become all, Stretford, Paddock FC. You're worse than Steve. Going to wrap it up there. Jace Parker, just before I do wrap up, says, afternoon Jay, afternoon Mr. Pritt, afternoon Lauren, quality brew as per. Thank you, Jace Parker. Thank you to everyone who got involved in the comments and the chat. Lauren, where can people find you?
At Lauren_page07, I think. Still don't know.
Wow. Okay. Is that actually Twitter or X, as it's called?
Yeah.
You're even worse when it comes to promoting your socials.
All right, you can find me at Stretford Paddock FC then.
There you go.
You brought it up.
Have you got a game this weekend?
Yeah.
Steve's not here, so you can tell us.
Yeah, we've got Mersey Valley tomorrow at 2, and then big one against Wigan Town the following Saturday at Droylsden FC. So if you're in the Manchester area next week, come down.
I think I missed this super chat, so I'll just read it quickly. The one of Pippi says, although the window is closing, has closed, we should already be looking into the winter market for loans we can get and with the option to buy later. I love that. Yeah.
Thinking ahead.
January window. Let's focus on that now. This is done. This is old news, the summer window. Thanks to Lauren. Thanks, Dave, for coming on. Big thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring the podcast. Go and check out the link in the description. Using the code HOUSEN, get 20% off and free shipping. If you're not doing, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be back later on tonight from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, the last hour of the window. Myself and Abdullah are going to be here talking through. Obviously, it looks like United's business is done. Maybe we might get rid of 1 or 2 players. We've got Donny van der Beek and Eric Bailly, players like that. But we're going to be looking at what everyone else is doing as well. Because I personally am hoping that this Saudi bid for Mo Salah comes to fruition, because Liverpool losing him on the last hour of the transfer window would be amazing.
Perfect.
But we can't. Anyway, this has been The Brew. Thanks for watching.